Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Krista Morzoka. I have the privilege of serving as the president and CEO of the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. And it is my pleasure to welcome you all here this afternoon to our first ever outdoor Harvest for Hunger wrap-up and recognition ceremony. I have to say that I am so pleased to be together with you all in person. Being together in person and seeing your smiles, I have come to appreciate in a whole new way after a year and a half of virtual events. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your support of this year's effort, for coming together to mark the success of the 2021 campaign, and most importantly, for making that success possible. Now in its 30th year, Harvest for Hunger is one of the largest food and funds drives in the nation, and a regional effort of 4 food banks working together to serve 21 Northeast Ohio counties. I want to thank our partners at the Akron-Canton Regional Food Bank, at the Second Harvest Food Bank of North Central Ohio, and at the Second Harvest Food Bank of the Mahoning Valley for their incredible leadership, collaboration, and hard work across their service territories. You know, this past year has been a year like no other in our 40-year history. Since the onset of the pandemic, we have all had to adapt, to juggle, to work in changing circumstances. And at the food banks, we've had to respond to rising need across the country for emergency food. I just can't thank you all enough, from our Harvest for Hunger corporate donors, to our food drive coordinators, to our individual supporters, and of course to our friends in the supermarket industry for stepping up in new and extraordinary ways. You have all been incredibly flexible and creative and found new ways to support our work. And truthfully, community support has been the silver lining to what has otherwise been an incredibly challenging year for so many. You have helped us do so much more to respond to community need. You know, community leadership has been so important to this drive. I want to take a moment to recognize our 2 honorary co-chairs, Mayor Frank Jackson, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us today, and the entire City of Cleveland team, particularly Darnell Brown, Chief Operating Officer of the City of Cleveland. Thanks, Darnell. Darnell also happens to have another important role. He is the Greater Cleveland Food Bank Board Chair, which means that he is my boss. So Darnell, thanks for your support, and thanks for all that you and Loretta and the entire team at the City of Cleveland do every year. As some of you know, the City of Cleveland employees host one of our very largest employee food and funds drives. I also want to thank County Executive Armin Budish, our other honorary co-chair, as well as the team at the county. County Executive Budish should be here shortly, and his leadership and the county's partnership is absolutely critical to our work. We served an extraordinary 284,000 Cuyahoga County residents over the first 12 months of the pandemic. 284,000 people. That's 1 in 4 residents of our county. And that food was available thanks in large part to each and every one of you. You know, everyone here has so much to be proud of. Your contributions in the form of meals are distributed by our partner agencies and program sites across Northeast Ohio. Thousands of food pantries, hot meal partners, and other community programs which are truly out on the front lines, making sure that food is available to Northeast Ohioans in need. Some of these program partners are here this afternoon, and I want you to know how much we value your work, your effort, particularly over the course of the past year. It means so much to our shared clients, and it just wouldn't be possible without you. Thank you. I want each and every one of you to know that your contributions are having a direct impact for people right here in Cuyahoga County and the 5 other counties that we serve. You know, while the overwhelming majority of the food that the food bank distributes is provided in neighborhoods across our community by our partner agencies, in response to the pandemic and the skyrocketing need, the food bank also began to do even more direct service. And the fact is that in a lot of ways, that brought us even closer to our clients. In response to the demand, we turned our monthly produce distribution, which we've been doing for years at the food bank, into a drive-through distribution, which quickly was relocated to the City of Cleveland Muni Lot, so that we had space for the extraordinary number of people who were turning to us for help. And while this is not the only drive-through distribution in regards to the pandemic, there were a number of them across the community, and certainly drive-throughs hosted by a lot of our partner sites. I know I saw the May Dugan Center here today. They've done a wonderful drive-through distribution as well. It is the largest, and the fact is that we are still serving, even last Thursday, about 2,000 families a week. It's more than 6,000 people every week in the Muni Lot. The clients we serve, women, low-wage workers, and people of color, have been hit hard by this pandemic. And it's not ending overnight. We have our work cut out for us, and you are making so much of that work possible. I want to tell you about a few of the special people who have turned to us for help this year. At one of our very first drive-through distributions, I had the opportunity to meet Christine. Christine is a mom of 3, an incredibly hard worker. She'd been working 2 jobs to make ends meet for her kids, a job at a downtown hotel and a part-time job in the gig economy. And when the pandemic hit, she was laid off from her hotel job immediately. She had far fewer hours at her second job, and suddenly all of her kids were learning virtually at home. She had been so proud that she'd never had to ask anyone for assistance. And the first time she had to do that was when she came to the Muni Lot. And she had tears in her eyes when she thanked us for the food that was available for her kids, so that she could continue to provide for them, even at a really difficult time. You know, the fact is she had no choice but to ask for help, and thanks to all of you, we were there with the food and the support she needed. At the holidays, I met Anthony. I found out about Anthony when I was handed a Christmas card in the middle of the Muni Lot by a member of the National Guard. Some of you know that the governor deployed the National Guard to food banks across Ohio at our request at the beginning of the pandemic to help us respond to the rising need. So I was told that this was a Christmas card from a client who had given it to one of the National Guardsmen as his trunk had been loaded with food. So it turns out that Anthony had become well known by some of our staff. He'd become a bit of a regular in the Muni Lot. Anthony had been a professional photographer, traveling nationally for work, and he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. He had to quit his job. He had no income. He was in very poor health. He was worried about food, and so he came to the Muni Lot. Now, in addition to losing his income, one of the other things he lost was his desire to eat because of his chemo. But he was so pleased to see all the fresh fruits and vegetables and the other meals and food that were possible, because the fruit actually tasted good to him. And it was one of the first things that had tasted good in a long time. And so slowly but surely, Anthony has been regaining his health. He's been gaining back some of his weight. And his spirit is so positive. I mean, this guy is an incredible optimist. And he says it is thanks to his 2 dogs who were featured in the Christmas card. It was a photo of his dogs who were always in the back seat in his car in the Muni lot. His amazing doctors and the community support that he received. You know, the fact is that Christine and Anthony and so many others like them are folks who are hardworking people in temporary need, who just need help through this difficult time. And thanks to the Harvest for Hunger campaign, that help is available. You know, the clients we serve are not necessarily all the way through this yet. While things are definitely better this March and April than they were last March and April, thankfully, we are still serving more people than we were before the pandemic. And we expect that we'll be providing food and support at a higher level for quite some time. You are making that possible. I talked earlier about the importance of leadership, and so it is time now for me to turn the podium over to 2 extraordinary civic leaders, our Harvest for Hunger co-chairs, Sean Richardson, Regional President of Huntington Bank, and Bill Lacey, CEO at GE Lighting, a Savant company. I know I speak for our entire board, our staff, and the community when I tell you how grateful we are for all of the time and the energy and the contributions you've both made towards the success of this year's effort. Your dedication to making our community stronger and healthier does not go unnoticed. Bill, thank you for hosting us today and for sharing this beautiful place.
All right, hey, thanks, Kristen, and hello, everyone. It is really great. It does my heart well. It does this facility and the employees when we told them about us hosting this, the facilities team, they just lit up because this place is meant to be shared with the community and to do things like this. And it's just wonderful to be able to celebrate the end of another successful Harvest for Hunger campaign. That deserves a hand clap. You know, but before we get into that, take a moment. When you're in the presence of an icon, you have to take a moment and recognize that. And that icon is the ground that your feet are standing on or sitting on. And that is Nela Park. Nela Park is a 108-year-old 108 years old. You're sitting on 92 acres. It was and is, it's the first industrial park in the world. First industrial park in the world. When Terry and Tremaine, who were the leaders, envisioned this place, let me just read what they said in a periodic that came out in late 1912. They said, "The nearer we approach the 100% mark in ideal conditions for our people, the nearer they will approach the 100% mark of efficiency, not only for us, but for themselves. Lawns, flowers, and trees are good to look upon. Light and airy offices are pleasant to work in." I think they saw the coming of a pandemic, and they said, don't worry about those open floor concepts. We're going to have big offices with walls and doors so employees can come in and be safe. Nela is the home of the world's most significant lighting inventions and innovations in the world. We are on a place that has 26 buildings, and since 1925, if you don't care about all the LFL halogen lighting technology, but you'll probably do know and care about this, that since 1925, we have celebrated the coming of Christmas and the holiday season with spectacular lighting displays. So let's get back to So let's get into what we're here for. Harvest for Hunger is a critical campaign for our community and wouldn't be possible without the generous support of so many people and organizations who are joining us today. Many of you put a tremendous amount of effort in the fight against hunger in our community. Thank you so much for your tireless support. I was thrilled to have the opportunity to serve as co-chair. As a father of 2 college-age kids, rarely are they impressed with anything that I do. But I told the team that once they found out that I was a co-chair for the Greater Cleveland Food Bank and the Harvest for Hunger, I got a "That's cool, Dad" from my daughter, and then also even my wife, who's even a bit of a harder critic. We were filming the market event down at the Greater Cleveland Food Bank facility, and I said, "Hey, honey, don't you want to come and join?" And she gave one of those spousal duty type of responses, like, "Yeah, okay." And then when she got there, though, and she walked into the building, and she saw the scale of it, Mary can tell you, her face was just like, wow. The scale, and now I understand. And so it just a couple of examples of how significant and how proud I am to share this co-chair honor with Sean. The success of the campaign is dependent on the generosity of tens of thousands of people throughout Northeast Ohio. This combined effort to collect food funds provides nutritious meals to just over 1,000 local partner agency and programs and the hundreds of thousands of clients they serve through our 4 partner food banks. We can't say it enough. For every dollar raised, the food bank can help provide 4 nutritious meals. 4 nutritious meals for $1. Just take a minute and think about the impact of what change in your pocket can have for people in need. This campaign continues to raise millions of meals for the community year after year. This year's no different, as Kristen mentioned. And I'd like to invite some special people up to the front area here to help us to reveal why we're here and reveal our grand total. First, let's welcome Beechwood High School student Eliana Goodman, who organized a very successful fundraiser, Hope Blooms fundraiser for the food bank. We're going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. Next, I would like to have Amanda Noss, District Manager for Salt and Road Safety at Cargill, one of our outstanding corporate participants, to come on down. I also should say I apologize if I mispronounce anybody's name. It's an error of the mind and not of the heart. And next, I'd like to invite representatives from each of our amazing supermarket partners. They are the heart and soul behind our Check Out Hunger campaigns, working the front lines and always asking for a donation with a smile. Giant Eagle cashier Nikki Rivera, can you come on down? Dave's Markets cashier Valerie Hardaway. Heinen's cashier Anthony Latine. Now I'd like to call up a very special coordinator and one of my best and dearest friends that I just met today, Loretta Joyce. But we're friends because she's a friend of a really good friend of mine, and so therefore I'm calling her an old friend. Loretta is a coordinator for the City of Cleveland and assistant to Chief Operating Officer Darnell Brown, who stood earlier. Please, you've already come on down. We can't thank you enough for your years of dedication. Loretta, thank you, thank you, thank you. Next, let's have Megan Bernard, Community Engagement Manager with Sherman-Williams Company. Come on up. Another amazing partner in this campaign who raised more than $160,000 in meals terms. What that is 640,000 meals. All right, Kay O'Donnell from Euclid Hunger Center, one of our vital partner agency who has continued to serve people not only through the pandemic, but for several years, and has been a great partner. All right. How about Nicholas Wright? Nicholas is grandson of Charlie and Cheryl Shore, supportive individual donors. Also, we would like to have Molly Tiersky, granddaughter of Rich and Jane Janis. It's worth noting that our individual donors have contributed more than $3.5 million this year to the campaign. And in addition to money, they've also contributed their time volunteering as well. It is not possible to thank every individual publicly, but please know we are beyond grateful. And now, I'd like to have my co-chair, Sean Richardson, to come on up. And they wrote a lot of nice things for me to say, but I'm not going to read that. But just let me say this. I have loved working with this guy. He has made this fun. We have done, I think, some good things. And Sean, I hope the relationship isn't ending with this co-chair thing. I'm still waiting to get invited to this platform tennis thing that I guess you play in the winter for some reason. And something I just heard about. I think it's a bit cultural, but I look forward to my invite to come out there and play this platform tennis. Now, everyone, are we ready? All right. Let's go. What do we need to do? The goal. The goal was 25 million meals. 25 million meals was the goal. So now let's start with the flip here, and 1, 2, 3. Sean, did they get the right? Did they get the right number? Did they get it? Did they get it?
Bill, you screwed it up.
Oh. Oh.
You two guys should switch places. Come on. Come on.
Let that sink in. Okay, that's right. 271,671 meals in a time of such as this. And this is not about an award. This is not about pride. This is about feeding people who need it. And this will go to great work and great deeds. So that is awesome. This money will help the food bank continue to respond due to the effects of the pandemic. Just in the last year alone, the pandemic started in March of 2020. The food bank has served 100,000 more clients, 62,000 new households, and distributed 9 million pounds of food in the community. The Northeast Ohio community heard our message. The need is there and will continue to be there. And the community showed incredible support of the campaign through mail, in checkout lines, at the grocery store, online, at their workplace, company sponsorship, and in-person neighbors helping neighbors contributed more than $9.3 million. We should all be incredibly proud of the achievement. Okay, during the spring, our supermarket partners committed their time and creativity to Harvest for Hunger. The Checkout Hunger campaign encouraged customers to donate $1, $5, or $10 at the register. With so many safety protocols in place, there were some things we needed to adjust, like no physical coupons or placards at the register, but simple signage. It was more important than ever to have the support of the store leadership teams and cashier support and enthusiasm. And they did. The cashiers asked daily throughout the campaign, and it truly had an impact. Check out our hunger sponsor, Giant Eagle, Heinen Grocery Stores, Dave's Market, along with other retailers, including Buehler's and Fisher's. They raised over $1.7 million for our neighbors in need. We have representatives from the 3 largest chains here today. Shoppers at Dave's Market contributed just over $86,000 from their 14 stores, including Lucky's Market this year. When the pandemic hit last year, they extended their campaign for 4 additional weeks, and this year they extended 5 additional weeks, having one of their best years yet. Will representatives of Dave's please stand and get the well-deserved appreciation? Don't be shy, don't be shy. All right, Heinen's customers raised more than $364,000 at 19 stores. They extended their campaigns for several weeks last year, and for several weeks this year, for an additional 4 weeks, and it was one of their most successful campaigns in the history. We also have Representative Heinen's, and we would love for you to stand and be recognized at this time. All right. Also, we would like to congratulate Giant Eagle and GetGo. They raised just over $1.1 million. Giant Eagle ran their campaign for an amazing 408 days. GetGo was also at it last year in the midst of the pandemic. Will the representatives from Giant Eagle and GetGo please stand for another appreciation? Checkout Hunger is one of the largest components of the campaign and is essential to the success of Harvest for Hunger. Thanks to all of the cashiers for their diligence in asking, and everyone here who made a donation while in line at the register, and to all the store leaders who played an important role keeping this campaign in mind and top of mind. This campaign would not have raised as much money or awareness without the support of our media sponsors. So we want to definitely take time and thank them. Our media partners promoted Checkout Hunger, encouraged the community to support Harvest for Hunger, and increased awareness about the issue of hunger. Their support began in March at the campaign kickoff, where they completed a virtual grocery bagging contest. They continued their support through the campaign, including their presence with us here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our media partners are Cleveland.com, Fox 8, WEWS Channel 5, WKYC Channel 3, WOIO Channel 19, Q104, and iHeartRadio. They are also listed on the signage. Our success would not be possible without them. Let's please give them a big, big round of applause. All right, I would also like to recognize the members of our 2021 Kitchen Cabinet, a group of community leaders who provide leadership and support to the campaign by hosting some of our most successful drives, including virtual food drives, sponsoring our Market at Home event, and giving personally. Their names are listed on the signage, and I know that some of them are in attendance today. Sean and I are most grateful for your leadership and your support of this most important campaign, and we love for you to stand and also be recognized for what you do and what you continue to do. And now at this time, I'd like to turn it over to my co-chair, Sean Richardson, to recognize our more than 200 local organizations that hosted food and fun drives. Sean.
Thank you, Bill. I am almost speechless after Bill. It's a tough act to follow. There are probably a few previous co-chairs, but I want to recognize my co-chair from 2 years ago, Rick Chiricosta, who's in the back. Looks like he's going Hollywood on us. Hey, Hollywood. Rick of Medical Mutual set the standard for me. So last year, he played the straight man, and I was the comedian. Looks like I've been downshifted to straight man after Bill. Wow. We had a lot of fun, as you can tell. Fun seems to be in Bill's vocabulary and his DNA at work, and it is for me too. And I think it is at the food bank. But their fun is trumped by the success and the serving of the community. So I stand before you proud to have the opportunity, pleased that Kristen asked me a couple years ago into this role. It's a very humbling, a very rewarding experience. So I am here to present a couple of awards and acknowledge especially some of the corporations that stepped up during this year's campaign. So here we go. As Bill mentioned, employees at more than 200 organizations stepped up to support the Cleveland Food Bank. They came together to help us raise this record 37 million meals. Through their creativity and generosity, they raised just over 2.3 million. So the corporations helped raise 2.3 million, providing enough for 8.2 million nutritious meals. And we know that there may be more coming in from those corporations as they close out their campaign. So I'd first like to recognize those corporations who raised over $100,000 this year. This is a new category, and we've decided to call them Hunger Champions, Harvest for Hunger Champions. This is an amazing accomplishment, especially during the year that we have had. Very difficult year for all. You've displayed incredible dedication and leadership, and for that, we are all very grateful. These organizations have dedicated staff at all levels to go above and beyond the call of duty for the harvest of hunger, making it a priority. These organizations include Bueller's, Fresh Foods, City of Cleveland, Cleveland Cliffs Foundation, Dunkin', Giant Eagle, Heinen's, and the Sherwin-Williams Company. Congratulations. This was a record year for Sherwin-Williams, in which both the company and its employees stepped up significantly to support our community. I'd like to invite a Sherwin-Williams representative up at the end of the program to pick up their award. It's not a reward program, it's an award. Turns out you do need to read for this job. Additionally, we created another level, the Emerald level. These are companies that either raised more than $50,000 or contributed at least $100 per capita per employee. These companies include Admiral Products, Benish, Cargill, Chubb, City Architecture, Danaher Corporation, Dave's Market, Globe Life, McCarthy, Levitt, Crystal, and Liftman Company, LPA, Radcliffe and Taylor, and TEC Communications. Will representative from those companies please stand? Thank you. Thank you so much for your commitment and generosity. We have two special awards, annual awards that we give out. They are the Bag of Hope and the Edmund V. Worley Award, presented each year to companies and organizations that demonstrate unparalleled commitment to Harvest for Hunger. These entities are considered for these awards based on employee participation, creativity of the efforts and enthusiasm, and support for local hunger relief efforts. There are many, many companies to choose from each year. For the first award, the Bag of Hope Award, we have two finalists. So companies and organizations considered for this award are true champions in our struggle against hunger. They're entities with 200 or more employees that involved a significant number of staff and found new creative ways to raise funds to show their commitment. And I'll show you what I mean by new creative ways. There are 2 finalists. The first is Cargill. Cargill sponsored one of our weekly drive-through distributions in the Muni lot. So moved by what they saw and the impact made, their Cargill Cares group applied for additional funds from their headquarters and sponsored another distribution. Cargill also stepped up and sponsored one of our fleet trucks and sponsored our Backpacks for Kids program. The second finalist is Oswald Companies, whose employees raised $30,000 this year during their Harvest for Hunger campaign. Not only did they raise those critical funds, but they also volunteered their time at one of our weekly distributions. As you heard from Kristen, those were very, very powerful. They made an impact. Huntington, my organization, was there last month on a Thursday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon, and the powerful statements that come from that, they really impact the employees. So I'm so proud of all of you who provide that volunteer support. So let's back to Oswald. The company has supported the Harvest for Hunger campaign since 1999. We've been doing this for 30 years, so that's the majority of this the 30 years. The company has supported it since 1999, and their CEO, Mr. Bob Klonk, is also a member of our kitchen cabinet. Oswald went above and beyond their campaign to share their participation with their local media partners in order to encourage other companies to participate and support the food bank. This year's Bag of Hope Award is presented to Oswald Companies. The Oswald Company's commitment to ending hunger in our community is inspiring. Bob, can you come on up? It is this commitment on multiple levels that makes us proud to present Oswald Companies with this year's Bag of Hope Award. Hey, Bob. Bob, we'll be doubling your goal next year. Okay. Our second award is the Edmund V. Worley Award. Let me tell you about this award. Ed Worley was the first executive director of the Cleveland Food Bank. He was a dedicated servant to those in need in our community. He was a visionary. This award is given to companies with fewer than 200 employees that found new and creative ways to raise funds and go above and beyond in their participation of supporting Harvest for Hunger. There are many, many deserving companies. When we talk about creative ways to raise money, my team at Huntington threatened the dunk machine. And I was just very grateful. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. Because of the pandemic, I was unable to be dunked. But it will be in their memory bank for the coming years. That should raise a lot of money. The first finalist is Myers, Roman, Friedman, and Lewis. This law firm ran, they had included weekly raffles, a St. Patrick's Day auction, 2 March Madness pools, and Jeans Day Fridays to encourage their employees to participate. We think this quote from one of their partners sums it up best. Particularly after 2020 and the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, our firm members, our employees, truly enjoy the camaraderie brought by this year's drive, and we're also uplifted by the extent of positive participation by our firm's members or employees. We can only hope that our contribution makes a positive difference in the lives of many people that your worthy organization serves to help. The second finalist is Benish. This year, through the participation of their employees, they raised more than $40,000 to help fight hunger. Benish started off with a modest goal, beat that early on in their campaign, so they raised that goal and beat it once again. They continue to raise the bar, and every time their employees stepped up to meet it. Benish employees have been supporting Harvest for Hunger since 1997, 24 years. Love that commitment to Harvest for Hunger. So I'm very proud to present the Edmund V. Worley Award to Benish. Is there a Benish representative here? we have an illness to report. So this is not a must-be present to win award. We will get that award to Benish. So there is no way to thank all the incredible people who worked so hard to make this campaign a success. Every raffle, Jeans Day special event, March Madness, St. Patrick, everything that people did, the creativity leads to more support. Well, every effort is wonderful in its own way. I'd like to bring attention to the following organizations with honorable mention for outstanding and in some cases unique drives. So there will be, I'm going to ask you to stand if you're present. We're excited to present the MVP award to Luna Bakery in Cleveland Heights and in Moreland Hills. What's outstanding is that Luna is a new partner of the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. They were so excited to jump in and help any way they could. They ran 2 different brand new campaigns. In April, they sold adorable Harvest for Hunger produce-themed cookies, not sure what they are, with proceeds benefiting the Harvest for Hunger, but they raised a lot of money. They also ran a Roundup campaign, which is pretty clever for the month of May, where customers could round up their total expend to the next dollar and donate that balance to Harvest for Hunger. This year, owner Bridget Thieball was part of our Market at Home event, as Luna was our featured very delicious dessert. Bridget, we thank you and Luna Bakery. Here? Not here. The Virtual Trailblazer Award goes to the Ohio Lottery, who took on the challenge of fundraising during the virtual times. They came up with an innovative and fun telethon idea hosted by their Cash Explosion on-air team and then live broadcasted it to their employees. They raised enough to collectively provide 40,000 meals to Ohio food banks with this amazing idea. Thank you, Ohio Lottery. Woohoo! And the Rookie of the Year Award is presented to Fairport Wealth, who was a first-time participant in this year's Harvest for Hunger campaign. The Greater Cleveland Food Bank was chosen as their community beacon partner this year, and then Fairport stepped up to not only support the food bank by running a food and funds drive, but they also sponsored our Market at Home event, and their employees volunteered at the food bank. That's a trifecta. Thank you, Fairport Wealth. I'm going to wrap it up here and just extend a special thank you to each of you, to everybody in the room here. It's very powerful to have the support of so many people. I, like Bill, am just delighted to be back in person doing events like this and getting a chance to get a hug, to get a handshake, to get a high five. And to all of you, I provide that virtually, or I'll be available afterwards to say hello. I'd love to thank each one of you individually. This year, we would like to introduce one more brand new recognition award, the Workplace Coordinator of the Year, to be given to one coordinator who has gone above and beyond to make their campaign a success. As someone who has a coordinator, they're really the MVP in most organizations of running a successful campaign. Each year, we wouldn't be able to run that campaign without the support of many workplace coordinators who step up within their organizations and work tirelessly to plan and put together amazing workplace campaigns. Our first recipient is none other than Loretta Joyce, coordinator for the City of Cleveland and assistant to the Chief Operating Officer, Darnell Brown. Loretta's here?
She is here.
Will you give it to her on my behalf? Thank you. Loretta began running the City of Cleveland campaign in 2010. Thank you for your leadership for the last 11 years. I'd now like to turn the podium over to my friend, County Executive Armin Budish, who's going to present a special award to local school and students. Armin?
Hello, everybody. Oh, I almost knocked the mic down. It's great to be here. You know, when I saw that number come out and then started listening here, I thought that's the number of awards you're giving out tonight. But I'm going to go off script for a minute, and Kristen gets all nervous when that happens. But, you know, this organization, the food bank, and this event, Kristen and Bill and Sean, you know, what they did this year is amazing. This happened, these numbers happened during the worst pandemic in our lifetime. People were out of jobs, people had no money, people had nothing, and they raised that number of meals. It's unbelievable what they did. So I just want to say thank you for the work that you all did. It was truly heroic. So it's great to see the creativity that so many people put into successful campaigns, and I'm so proud of everyone, all the companies, all the people that participated this year in particular, and I truly respect your dedication to all of this. I'm also impressed by the young people that get involved. You know, when I was a young person, I didn't even know from this stuff. You know, it was what's on TV, but to see young people get so involved in the community like this is truly, it's wonderful. So that's why I'm so excited to get to present the Rory Borgio Award this year. This award is given to a remarkable school working to help improve the community. So I get to present the Rory Borgio Award to my alma mater, Beechwood High School. And I just want you to know I had nothing to do with what they did. Hope Blooms, Ohio was the name of the campaign. And I'll tell you, as a politician, I take great pride in seeing a great campaign. And not only do I take great pride, but I also take notes. So it was really great. It was a creative marketing campaign developed to inspire hope and uplift local and global communities. They did a pop art installation featuring 5 20 by 30 inflatable flowers. The flowers traveled all over Northeast Ohio for 8 weeks. Each flower represented the mission of Hope Blooms Ohio: unity, love, health, blossom, inspire, and joy. The students of Beechwood High School's junior achievement class identified food insecurity as the most pressing cause for our region, and they wanted to make a difference. Through the Hope Blooms Ohio campaign, they were able to raise awareness and money. They met their goal of raising $40,000 for the Greater Cleveland Food Bank by organizing a press conference, using marketing skills to promote their campaign. So we're proud to present the Rory Borgio Award to Beechwood High School. And will the representative come up from Beechwood? I'm not done yet. We also like to recognize a student who shows leadership in their school's Harvest for Hunger efforts. This award goes to a remarkable young individual working to help improve their community. This year, we were extremely impressed by a group of 4 students. And, as a politician, we don't like to make tough decisions, so we're giving an award to all 4 of the students this year. The students we want to recognize are Anna Toman, Matt DeCiccio, Tyler Kinnear, and Alex DePrano from St. Albert the Great. These 4 students organized and maintained the Harvest for Hunger Drive for 3 weeks in March. Matt, Alex, Tyler, and Anna worked tirelessly to make sure that St. Albert was able to be successful. They made posters, they sent out flyers to the whole school, and all of them made sure each classroom had boxes for each turn-in day. 33 classes. This was not an easy task. Oh, I think they're coming up. They helped collect the goods and made sure they were placed in a designated area in the school, and also helped load the truck when the food bank came to pick the boxes up. They kept a running total for each classroom on what they collected, creating a little bit of competition. They also made a graph that was copied and printed to every homeroom to hang up. They're in the 8th grade, and the 8th grade class won the competition among the classes that they held. So Anna, Matt, Tyler, and Alex, thank you for your great work. And now I think I'm done. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, County Executive Budish, so much for your support, past and future. We are enormously grateful to the county's commitment to the fight against hunger. I'd like to take a minute just to recognize a few more people without whom the success of this year's campaign would not have been possible. I will ask you to stand so we can recognize and thank you. First and foremost, the teams behind the scenes supporting our corporate co-chairs and the effort. At Huntington Bank, staff including Carrie Carpenter and Sue Coffey, please stand. At GE Lighting, thank you so much for all you did to step up this year, and particularly for hosting us today. Kathy Stereo, Gilda Conkey, Jen Massiella, and Matt DiMichele, thank you. Please stand. What a beautiful location for our first ever outdoor recognition ceremony. And also the Greater Cleveland Food Bank's Board of Directors, led again by Darnell Brown, and members of our External Affairs Committee. Can I ask you to stand so we can recognize you? I also want to take a moment to recognize our staff team at the food bank. They have worked tirelessly throughout this pandemic to support your efforts and our community while also running an internal employee food and funds drive. I am proud to say the food bank staff earned a platinum level award this year. And in addition to contributing personally, just about every person on our team was involved in some way, whether it was picking up food donations out in the community, working with volunteers to sort through those donations, working with all of you, our donors and supporters, or packing up that food for distribution to our partner agencies. You know, this drive is a real all-hands-on-deck event, and it is a privilege for me to work alongside such a passionate and generous group of essential workers. So thank you, and please stand. They're all in the back. All right, one more person to thank. You know, the role of a Harvest for Hunger co-chair is typically a 2-year assignment, and Sean Richardson is finishing up his 2nd year of leadership. He has such a long time commitment to hunger, having served on our board for a number of years, 3 full terms, before stepping up to co-chair the Harvest for Hunger Drive. And there is no one he will not recruit to this effort. He has helped take the campaign to new heights, recruited new kitchen cabinet members, raised awareness of the issue of hunger, and had a lot of fun along the way while helping those in need. As staff, we always appreciate his sense of humor, his ability to mix things up and keep every meeting full of laughter. When he challenged Bill to a competition in our community kitchen this year as part of the Virtual Market Under a Glass event, which some of you may have seen as part of the virtual event, that was quite an evening and something we will not soon forget. For those of you who didn't see it, they each had to design a charcuterie board with help from our kitchen team and with special secret ingredients. And it was a lot of fun and created some great memories. I will not mention who won that award, but Bill will. So we have a small token of our appreciation. Sean, if you don't mind coming up. A special personalized gift. Would you see if you can pull it out of that bag? Oh, yes, please do. Can you get it? All right.
You hold the bag.
I'll hold the bag. It is a personalized charcuterie board, so he can continue to practice at home. He does need practice. Sean, thank you so much for all the meals you made possible. Do you want to say anything? No. You're good? All right. All right, he's done. So thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Thanks to GE for being absolutely incredible hosts. If anyone would like to have a tour of the on-site museum, please meet at the front of the building near the parking lot, and GE Lighting staff are ready to take you for a tour. Have a wonderful night. Don't forget, there are food trucks around the corner. Please grab a snack before you hit the road. And all of our thanks for a great year. Take care.